If you have any decency left, don't see this movie. Or maybe you do. On Film Pit Reviews. Hi, I'm Alan Ning. I was Zorianna Kit, and today we review Donny's Bar Mitzvah, which is essentially a VHS, a found footage VHS tape of Donny's Bar Mitzvah. Directed by Jonathan Kaufman, stars Steele, Stebbins, Jeremy Tardy, and Adrian Ciscato. So I watched this again last night, and it dawned on me that this is a movie that you're either going to love or you're going to hate. And there's really no in between. And so I'm curious where you fall, not on the spectrum, but which side do you land on?
Oh, gosh, Alan. This movie's just slightly over an hour, thank God. But honestly, I wanted that hour back. This is unwatchable. This is completely unwatchable. It's not funny in the least. It's rude and crude and such lowbrow humor. And I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad just hating on this movie. So I guess that's just all I'm going to say right now. Yeah. It's unwatchable, and I would never recommend anyone to see this.
So I would say exactly what you said, but I would say that's why I like this movie. I think, I have to say I'm a huge fan of comedy, of all kinds of comedy, but mostly comedy that works. And I think the first comedy to ever, well, I shouldn't say that. The first comedy that I ever saw that I watched over and over and over and over again was Airplane. And this kind of reminds me of that. It's a much raunchier, much cruder, much lowbrow version than that. But I was just, I was like, I think what appealed to me most about it is the fact that throughout this entire movie, it just goes there. It goes in a horrible, dark direction, and it will not let up. And maybe it's Stockholm syndrome on my part. Maybe it's just beating me over with this horrible, low, crass humor, offensive, that I just loved it more and more as it was going on.
But the Farrelly brothers kind of pioneered this sort of lowbrow humor.
Yeah, I think South Park would be in there too.
Well, and I remember laughing a lot in those movies. I also laughed in the American Pie movies, the first one at least. Even Superbad, Judd Apatow was lowbrow that way. And I was trying to think, like, why? Like South Park, what's the one with Cameron Diaz and Ben?
There's something about Mary.
Something about Mary, and I'm just like, why is it? If I watch these movies now, would I be disgusted? Like, is this like the middle-aged person in me who is disliking this movie? And if I was younger, would I like it? Or did those movies have something that balanced out the gross out humor? And I think it's the latter, because in those characters, there was some type of heart in them, for a lack of a better word. There was something that made them likable to you or made you root for them in some capacity. But in this movie, there is not a single character that you actually root for, that you actually want to see succeed, that you actually, when they come on the screen, you are drawn to and want to follow their story. There just isn't. I tried, Alan. I really tried to find someone.
Yeah, again, I'll say everything you just said and say that's why I like this movie. There's no redeeming character. There's no, there are characters that are implicitly you're supposed to like just because they're kids, but no, you don't. The more I thought about it, the more I'm thinking that I think what attracted me the most about it is I think we're living in a time now where we have to watch every single thing we say, especially in a forum like this. Whatever it's like the whole world is walking on eggshells at the moment. You know, where a minor misstep or a misstatement can get you canceled. And this movie just doesn't care about that. And they just go ahead and go for it and say the thing that people with no morals and no decency whatsoever is thinking, and they put it out on the screen. And you know, and so I think that's, you know, to me that was somewhat refreshing, and which is why I liked it. It was so different.
It wasn't funny though.
I laughed. You know, it's now it becomes a matter of preference and taste.
Okay.
Yeah, I like gross out stuff. There's a moment, a touching moment between Donnie and his new girlfriend Hannah, and it's Monty Python disgusting. Oh, what happens at that point? You know, and I go back to those old comedies. You know, Monty Python was good at this stuff too. You know, the Marx Brothers. It was just,
but you can't
one bad joke after the other.
You can't compare this movie to Monty Python.
Well, yeah, because Monty Python had a whole lot of money and a following. You know, this one is definitely low budget. This is a guy who's done minimal things in film and television. He just wanted to make a movie that he thought would make people laugh. And, you know, and that's why I'm saying, you know, you're either going to love or you're going to hate this movie. And I think we're kind of giving you a good perspective as to whether you're going to like this movie or not. So that's what review shows do. And that's essentially my approach to reviewing films is to give you an idea of, you know, here's the movie. This is what we thought, you know.
Okay, so then I can't figure out what your rating would be, because if you are liking it for the same reasons I'm hating it, well, I mean, I don't even know how to do the math on that scale.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm going to guess you gave it 2, and therefore that's why I gave it an 8. I
was just going to give it a 0. I mean,
a 0. Okay.
I mean,
well, I'm not going to give it a 10, but I'm sorry. Maybe it's just that, you know, me reverting back to my schoolboy sensibilities and just the, you know, it's weird, but back in the 80s when I grew up, this is basically, it's a locker room movie, and it just brought that all back to me, and I just had a good time with it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. With that, please like, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of Donnie's Bar Mitzvah. Especially, yeah. Well, I feel like a comment war could happen if people. So please, let's flare things up. Let's light it up, and let us know what you thought of Donnie's Bar Mitzvah. And with that, let's get out of here.